Okay, so I saw a lot of people being really confused about the timeline as of season 7 and like what happened. That there were like other versions of themselves when they went back to the original timeline, and it's actually really easy to understand, and I'm gonna try to explain it and not confuse you guys more. So, this is the original timeline as of season 5 because of what happened in season 5. So like this is the original timeline that we've been following since season 5. And here I'm gonna jog your memory on what happened in season 6 and the end of season 7, like what was explained. So right here, at this point is when Enoch helped Fitz and Simmons escape from the Chronicoms when they were about to blow everything up, and then Enoch saved them, and then they teleported onto Piper and Flint's ship, the Quinjet, and then they escaped with them, and they got to the Zephyr, and then they took the Quinjet and the Zephyr, and they left Piper and Flint. Remember, they gave them the gun, and they left them in the jungle and said, "We'll be back in a few minutes." So they left them, and for 5 years, they orbited the star Alya, and that's when they had baby Alya and everything. So for 5 years, because like I'm gonna say 5 years because she can't be more than 4. So for 5 years they orbited the star and they made preparations and all that. And then they used the time drive and the stone Flint gave them. They used the time drive to then travel like back to that point right there, and to meet them essentially a few minutes later for them. And when they did that, that's when they left the pod with Alya and Fitz in the pod there, and that's when Gemma left to go rescue the rest of the team in the temple. And when she did that, she used the time drive to travel to the hot mess timeline from season 7. So that's the hot mess timeline, and I explained that in my previous video. So that's when they traveled to 1930, and they followed the path 1955, because every time they made changes in whatever year, they would branch off another future, basically. So then they followed this path essentially to 1983, which will end in what I will call Deke's future, because Deke got left there. So when they went to 1983, and then they did a bunch of stuff there, and then Gemma summoned Fitz, and he hopped through the quantum realm, Ant-Man style, from this point, because he was left in that pod, all the way to 1983. So he did that essentially. I don't know if that's how the quantum realm works, but like let's just say that's how it works. He did that essentially, and now they're all there. And then they left Deke, and they used the device to do the same thing to the Chronicoms and bring them all the way back here. So everyone's back here now, right back there. Now, if you have been staying with me, there are now 3 Fitzes, 3 Gemmas, 2 Alyas, because they're still doing that. So yeah, and then they helped themselves escape because they got into those suits, and so they were the people in those suits, and they helped the other version of the team escape, and for the loop to go on, because the loop has to go on for everything to go according to plan. And then they defeat the Chronicoms, and that would be the 1 year later epilogue when that happens. So, yep, that's how it goes. I was essentially right, but I know a lot of people are confused about how there are like at one point 3 Fitzes and 3 Gemmas until everything in the season 7 finale goes down. But now there are 2 Fitzes, two Fitzsimmons families, because they're still orbiting the star. I'm using the cryofits logic from season 5. That's how there were 2 Fitzes. So